are living in not to say something that's never happened before, but we're living in the era of the young phenom, as I like to call it, man. You got all these either college athletes or rookies in the sports right now who are really blowing things up and looking like the future leaders of their generation in each respective sport. You got a guy in Victor Wembanyama who came in with so much hype. This time last year, the hype that you got for Caitlin Clark right now, the hype that you got for Caleb Williams right now, the same hype that Victor Wembanyama had a year ago. And everybody was like, oh, he's not going to live up to that. He's skinny. He's this, that. He's this, that, and the third. And he just put up one of the most, impressive, what's what I'm looking at? Rookie seasons of all time this year. And I just feel like, he actually surpassed what I thought he was going to do and what a lot of people thought he was going to do. If you look at the stats this year, he averaged 21 points per game, 10.6 rebounds per game, shot 46% from the field. He also averaged almost 4 assists per game, and he averaged I'm looking for the actual blocks, right? In the NBA be holding down what the blocks are. It was a couple blocks a game he averaged, and he had an incredible season. Don't take the Spurs record and try to put that into it. He had a great year. And he also looked Caitlin Clark, everything she's done, going to be the number one first pick tonight in the WNBA draft. That will be going on in about 2 hours, live from New York City. Shout out to her, shout out to Angel Reese, shout out to all of the women in that draft today. This has been definitely one of the biggest, college basketball seasons for the women's game. And I think this is going to be a great thing that translating right into the actual league, man. So I'm looking forward to that. But we saw a lot of people upset about her being on Saturday Night Live this week. I've never seen a loser get this much attention. There's a couple things I got to say about that. One, let's stop with the semantics, man. Just say what you really want to say. Like, let's cut the bullshit. There's nothing to do with losers, okay? How many times LeBron lost the final and you see this nigga on like a late night show before, I don't know, the Denver Nuggets or some shit? It's because he's LeBron James. He moves the needle, okay? If I put a gun in your head and you're not like an avid WNBA watcher or not avid or an avid women's college basketball watcher, if I put a gun in your head and I tell you, name one player on South Carolina, you're not going to know them, but you know Caitlin Clark. She moves the needle. She's a great player. She's gonna be the number one draft pick. Of course, she's gonna be on Saturday Night Live. Let's just stop all these games, man. Like it's a lot of hate, and that's what we're seeing for all these different phenoms. All this hate coming in. But when she gets to the league, she just gets a different type of physicality. And yes, this comes from older heads too. Diana Taurasi, and I'm not mad at them feeling that way. Diana Taurasi has earned the way to, has earned the right to say what she wants with her career. She can say whatever she wants. I'm not mad at her. It's just the fans and things like that. But she better do this. She better do that. We heard the same thing last year about Victor Wembanyama. Oh, you compare him to LeBron. They doing this, that, and third. And he completely had an amazing season. And it's the scary part. If you're in the NBA, this is the worst Victor Wembanyama's ever going to be in his career.
The worst.
It's the worst. He's going to get better and scarier. The nigga, can he drink alcohol yet? Or he just started to be able to drink alcohol? One of the two. The nigga's young, okay? 27-year-old Wemby, if he can stay healthy, God bless, okay? And I believe it's the same thing with Caitlin Clark. Yes, there might be a little bit of a curve. Might take a couple games to get on her belt, but she shoots like Steph Curry. She's going to be on a team that's going to give her the rock, and she moves the needle, man. It's going to be a big show. Let's go on to the NHL. We don't really talk about hockey on this show. I'm going to be real. I am a bandwagon hockey fan. A.K.A. when the Blackhawks are good, I watch. When they don't, I don't really pay much attention to it. This year is the most I paid attention to Blackhawks hockey in over a decade. That's because of Connor Bedard. Now, we talk about somebody who can't drink alcohol. This nigga can't drink alcohol. He came out here had one of the most impressive seasons we've ever seen. Made his first All-Star game at just 19 years old. This is a kid who has been, even if you don't watch hockey, you know who Connor Bedard was. They had that outside the line special on him a couple years ago. He's been recruited since he was literally 12 years old. Like an agent came to his mother's house and said, your son is going to be a star. And he was getting agent requests at 12 years old. All the hype coming in. He's the next Patrick Kane. He's the next Connor McDavid. And he has came out and executed and done all that to the fact where it's kind of the hockey version of what Wembanyama's doing. This is the worst he's going to be. And I actually like how the NBA and NHL did that little mashup. It was like a video with those two interviewing each other at the United Center when the Spurs are playing the Bulls, because those are two phenoms, both the respective sports. Both of them, you put any type of regular talent around them, those teams are going to be very, very good. and he came out here had an amazing season. So you got all that. Now the spotlight is somebody we've been talking about for months. If you've been watching this program, Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams will be on the clock next week, 10 days from now, in Detroit, Michigan for the NFL draft. He's been compared to Patrick Mahomes, the best prospect since Andrew Luck. We've been hearing all these things. We know how all this conversation is going, not just league wide, but also in Chicago. And now he's on the plate to save a franchise who has not won a championship in about 40 years, has never really had a franchise quarterback, unless you want to count Sid Luckman. I don't even know if black people were able to drink from the same fountain as white people when he was on top anyways. That don't even matter. So it's been all this has been going on. Now he's got to carry this team into prosperity, and he's coming in with a great situation. I believe no number one draft pick in history of sports is ever coming into. So I would say this as a fan, you know what I'm saying? Enjoy what you're watching right now. We got all this young talent across the board in all these different leagues. And it's time for y'all to give them their respect. I mean, even in MLB, we just saw Jackson Holiday make his debut about a week ago. So you've seen all this young talent come up, and it's natural that the hate. I'm not saying the hate's got to stop. We know how things are. We know how things are in the social media world. And even before that, LeBron James was hated from day one. He's still hated now. That comes with the territory. But just kind of embrace what you're seeing right now. Before we get to our first topic, I want to get y'all opinion on what I just said about like the phenoms that we're seeing right now. Do you think like this is something that we've never seen before, or just have more spotlight because they're so young? I'll go to you first, man.
I don't think or at least I have never seen it in this form. Like you have now young folks in every league, like top of not like what was that draft? Not like the Stromal Swift draft or anything like that. Like you got Connor, you got Jackson, you got Caitlin, you got Wemby. You have everybody in every major league that is looking to draft or have drafted the person that's going to be the face or one of the faces of their leagues in the future. I don't remember a time that has happened for me. It probably has, but like for baseball, I wasn't necessarily paying attention to baseball like that. Like the draft, excuse me. I wasn't necessarily paying attention to the baseball draft. So maybe like Chipper Jones came in with Allen Iverson or some shit. I don't know. But to see all of these people and all of the major sports leagues, and now with the WNBA with Caitlin Clark, adding that right there. But then also looking at that WNBA draft where Caitlin Clark is the top of the mountain, but you have notable players. Cameron Brink is one of them. Angel Reese is another one. Homegirl from South Carolina is another one. It's just like so much that is going on right now where it just makes sports, whatever sport that you win right now, very interesting.
Definitely. Dante, what's your take on these phenoms we're seeing?
I think it's dope. I think this is what we've been asking for, especially with basketball, because we've been saying, we need the media to do their jobs and really start putting these young players on the map. And I think with the type of talent that these dudes have, well, not these dudes, these individuals have, you can't deny them. You have to talk about them. Like we talk about Caitlin being a needle mover. You can't ignore her. You can't ignore what she's doing on the court, and in turn, it's going to allow people to focus on her off the court. And so we always talk about getting more eyes on the women, and that's definitely going to help as a whole. And I think, like you said, with Caleb is set up to literally, they will pave the fucking streets with gold if this man is anything what they say he is.
Yeah.
So like, we're really in a situation where he can have an amazing impact in Chicago in the sense that they're gonna worship him like on some Derek Jeter shit. We've said this on camera, off camera, but like it really could be a Derek Jeter vibe with Caleb if he succeeds quickly in Chicago. And I think, like you said right now, I don't think it's something we haven't seen before. I think it's unique in a situation when you have three or four that you can point at directly, but also I think there's probably been others that we aren't really thinking about off the top of our heads, where 2 or 3 people came in at the same time, and it was like damn, okay. Because but yeah, I do think it's great for sports and especially basketball because we needed Wemby. You need, we will get into the NBA conversation. You need Shai, you need all of these guys. You need it for the leagues to grow, and so it's great.
Yeah, I think that I don't know if it was the same year. I think it was around the same year, like 95, 96, where you had Tiger Woods, Venus and Serena, A-Rod, if I'm not mistaken. That was all around the same year, maybe I'm off.
Yeah, that was all around the same year. But I was specifically talking about like draft.
Okay.
Whereas who was the number one pick in baseball, number one pick in basketball, number one pick in football, and now you have the WNBA. I personally have never seen it.
First time for that, yeah.
Right, like this is the first time that I can ever remember that it was a generational talent drafted number one or close to it. Because was Jackson Holiday number one pick?
Yeah, but that was 2 years ago. But he was number one pick though.
Yeah, but he playing this year. So, but even still, like even still, whether you want to say he's playing this year or at the time he was drafted, I've never seen a situation where incoming first year playing. That's how I make it specific. Coming in first year playing is a generational talent coming in every major league. And man, I don't necessarily watch a lot of hockey myself, but some dude just came onto the Blackhawks that was just playing at Michigan. He just scored his first goal and shit.
Yeah,
that I saw them was talking about too. I was like, yo, who was dude?
Yeah, they really started. I forgot. I gotta look on the Instagram and look at Buddy name, but I knew exactly what you're talking about because I saw that all on my feed this weekend. And it just, you're seeing like, I feel like the younger ones also too about Caleb and Caitlin. And this last thing I'll say, and we'll move on. This is the first players from the NIL era.
Yeah.
Number one, Caitlin's already a millionaire. Caleb's already a millionaire. To the fact Caitlin's actually making less in the WNBA than she is in Iowa.
Yeah, but what people another good thing, because Angel Reese mentioned this. A lot of the NIL deals are State Farm and places where they're going to be national deals now. So like they finna get even more bread. So
for sure.
They're not like, I agree. They taking the L with the WNBA salaries.
Well, I'm just talking like the WNBA salary.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
So basically, what you're telling me is that these another part of NIL that I did not think of. So basically, you telling me like they come up in the system.
Yeah. They're gonna be like Shohei, where like he's making $1 million with the Dodgers, but he's making $50 million in endorsements. Yeah. They're gonna make $250 from the WNBA. Oh, yeah, like probably clear. They're gonna clear a couple million in endorsements.
Yeah, it's just interesting to see or hear. Basically, like a player going through a system when it comes to endorsements. So it's like I'm a State Farm person since my freshman year of high school, basically.
Ain't Caitlin on State Farm though?
Yeah, Caitlin, she's on State Farm.
I saw her with Buddy, the State Farm nigga. Yeah, y'all know he from Chicago?
Yeah.
State Farm nigga from Chicago.
State Farm nigga from the crib.
Yeah, and so this nigga Caleb did the Heisman House with Barry Sanders and all them. He had a Wendy's commercial, and that's not even including the local deals they're gonna get. So, but shout out to them, man. So big shout out to all of the young phenoms coming up, man.